Today we're talking about how a nice guy can get in contact with his dark side, or I refer to it as the dark masculine shadow. The part of his mind that is not a nice guy, the part of his mind that is the opposite of all the things that he's been trying to be in the world. But I'll get to that in a second. We're going to talk today, in today's video, about what the dark masculine shadow is. We're going to talk about why you would get in contact with this in the first place, and we're going to talk about how you can get in contact with this in a way that's as safe as it can be. So if this is your first time on the channel, my name is Oliver. I'm a men's coach, writer, and occasionally I run retreats helping men stop being Mr. Nice Guy people pleaser and really tap into their full potential in their life, in their love, and in their relationships. So let me tell you a story. Let's wind the clocks back 10 years. I'm in an MMA fight. I'm in the cage. My body's covered in sweat. I feel the heat from the lights above me. I've got my opponent on the floor. I've just taken him down. I'm working for a new position and he leaves his face open. Christmas came early. Bang! I hit him with a punch. I feel my knuckles go through the MMA glove and make contact with his cheek. Now, the one thing that scared me about this is how much in that moment I seemed to enjoy it. He left his face open again. Bang! I hit him with another punch. I'm growling as I'm hitting him. Before the cage door locked, I was covered head to toe. Every cell of my body was absolutely baked in fear. Pure fear. Pure panic. I wanted to escape. But in that cage, this part of me came through that I never allowed out of me in my day-to-day life. In my day-to-day life, I was Mr. Nice Guy Ollie. This sort of meek, harmless, wouldn't hurt a fly, smiley, happy sort of go-lucky person, easy going. That's who I was in my day-to-day life. But in this cage, as I'm punching this guy, this deep, dark, primal, aggressive energy is channeling through me. I'm growling, I'm punching him, and next thing you know, I just start wailing on the guy. The referee gets involved and stops the fight. I stand up and I'm in pure ecstatic joy. I had never felt, before or since, I had never felt closer to God than that. I'm not particularly religious, but in that moment, I cannot describe to you, I do not actually have the words to describe to you how powerful I felt for the first time in my entire life. I'd spent my entire life trying to be the nice guy, good boy, but in that cage I was the opposite. Why? Because what I'd done is I had tapped into my shadow. Instead of repressing and pushing it down, it flipped it on its head and it was celebrated. And every cell of my body was released. It was like a valve was released, and all the pressure from an entire lifetime of trying to be good was released. I will never forget when I got out the cage and I looked in my girlfriend's face. I will never forget the look on her face. It was the look of pure, primordial lust and desire. It went beyond religion, beyond culture, beyond language. It went to a deep place. And I don't have the words to describe and dissect what that was, but I knew what that look was. And I'll spare you the details, mate, but the power that I felt in the cage went straight through to the bedroom later on that night. And that is a night I will never forget. And the truth is, mate, that's not special. You don't have to get into a cage and fight somebody to feel that. I told you this story to let you know what's possible when you stop fighting, when you stop repressing so much of yourself. Let's talk for a moment about that dark masculine. When I say the dark masculine shadow, what do I mean? Quickly, in a nutshell, what I mean by the shadow is a Jungian psychoanalytical term that means all of the stuff in your mind, in your psyche, all the stuff that you've repressed and pushed away, because if it came through into your conscious awareness, it would be very difficult, challenging to face. So if you've been taught to be a nice guy the whole time, a good boy, then obviously anything that comes through that challenges the good boy image is challenging to work with. So your mind pushes it down. But when it pushes it down, it does so at a great cost to your energy and a great cost to your potential. But what exactly exists in what I call the dark masculine shadow? Well, there's a few things, and I'll go through them now. One of the things is your ambition. If you struggle with procrastination and motivation, struggle with not really knowing what you want in life, it may be the case that you are repressing your ambitious side. The second thing is your unbridled lust and sexual desire. The third thing that's in there is your rage, your anger, and your capacity to cause harm physically or emotionally. Another thing that's in there is your selfishness. It's the part of you that wants to take the world and bend it and warp it to your will, to meet your needs. But what am I saying here? Am I saying that we should bring all of this stuff out and just go out into the world and be bad people? No, not at all. Here's the thing. I fundamentally believe that men who are not conscious of their shadow and they have not healthily integrated it with their eyes open are the most dangerous creatures on the planet. Think of mass shootings. Think of SA. Think of premeditated acts of violence or vengeance. All of this stuff comes from a man who is not in contact with his own shadow side. So let's talk about how you can integrate your dark masculine shadow. There's 3 steps and they're very simple. The first step is an acknowledgement that you have a shadow side in the first place. You cannot integrate what you don't know about yourself if you think you already know everything about yourself. The truth is, you are, for the most part, a mystery to yourself. You don't know. Most of yourself you don't know. So you have to start from that place. Another step, the second step after this, once you've accepted that this shadow exists, is to build your awareness of it. You cannot change something if you don't know what it is. This is when you start to watch for these little moments when you get angry and push it down. This is when you start becoming aware of what your deepest sexual desires are, for example. When you start thinking what you would change about your life if there were no consequences. How would you show up if you didn't give a shit what people thought about you? These kinds of questions are what build awareness. Another thing, it's kind of like a bonus tip here, is you have to be honest. You have to be really honest with yourself here. You have to be honest about what you would really do, how you would really show up, what you really think, what you really feel, your secret desires that you hide from the world, the secret resentments that you still carry towards people in the past or people in the present. You have to make friends with your dark side, but this takes courage and honesty. And the final step to this is taking what you learn and putting it into practice and taking different actions. That might mean joining a martial arts gym and learning what it's like to be physically capable of doing damage to people. It might mean learning assertive communication and putting a stop to letting people walk all over you and having an uncomfortable conversation. It might mean becoming fully aware of writing out your deepest, darkest sexual fantasies and actually putting into practice how you would integrate that into your life and how you'd bring that in. That might mean having a conversation with your wife or your girlfriend. That might mean going and exploring this in communities like the tantric community and stuff like that, or the BDSM community or whatever, and actually bringing that out into the world. Don't get me wrong, mate, it is an uncomfortable process to go through. But I promise you, on the other side of integrating your dark masculine shadow, you won't feel harmless anymore. You will feel more powerful than you have ever felt in your entire life. I touch on this a little bit in my free 5-day Kill the Nice Guy mini course. You can download that using the link in the description below. Mate, stay courageous, take care, I'll see you in the next video.